All right, welcome to episode 8 of Adventures in Inbetweening. Today we're going to be talking about smears and multiple images. Thanks for checking it out, and please give it a thumbs up if you like it. So we should start by talking about persistence of vision. You can see what I'm doing in my drawing here. I'm flipping between two drawings. I have some red lines and some green lines. The red lines are the previous image that I've drawn. The green lines are the next image that I've drawn, and I'm doing a drawing in between those two images. So the whole reason this works is persistence of vision. And just to simplify that, the idea is that when we see something, that image remains in our brain for a short amount of time. And if we put images close enough together, like 24, 30 frames a second, then we see them as moving images, even though they're all still static images. So when we're filming with live action film, anytime you go to the movies, and you see a movie on the screen, it's playing at 24 frames a second, whatever it is. Sometimes you go see something in 48 or 60 frames a second, and it's creating a story for you. It's creating a narrative. The images are moving quickly enough that you see it as real life, or you can feel it as real life, even if we know it isn't. So this is the same thing we do in animation, but we're creating it frame by frame. We're creating it very intentionally and saying, okay, here's this frame, here's this frame. I'm doing drawings, I'm doing 12 frames a second here for the most part. When I have a fast drawing, I'll do every 24th frame. But for the 12 frames a second, especially for 2D animation, is generally enough to activate the persistence of vision so that we see something moving. You see I'm drawing character's mouth here, just to return to the drawing for a sec, drawing the horn, drawing the teeth. I like drawing those teeth in perspective so you see them overlapping. Gives us some depth in the background there. So what I'm doing here is I'm drawing the hands. You can see I've got some multiple drawings of the hands here. So the idea is when something moves very quickly, we're going to draw that part that's moving, the body part, in this case the hands, in multiple images. And we approximate this in live action when we see it because there's motion blur. But when it comes to 2D, like I say, 2D animation, 2D images, you can see I'm stretching out the toes there, stretching out the knees. Here's an example from Fast and Furry-ous from 1949, Warner Brothers cartoon. I showed this one in my last time-lapse breakdown because of the anticipation overshoot. In this case, we're just going to be focusing on the smear. So there's the start pose and the end pose. You can see that we're starting forward, ending back. But how do we get there? There's 1,000 different ways we could get there. In this case, they did it over 4 drawings. So the first drawing is stretched out. You can see the nose is left behind. Everything is stretching there. Second drawing is where we go nuts. Now we have 5, 6 hands here going in an arc going back. The nose still hasn't moved from where it was. Everything else is stretching out. We have multiple eyes, multiple ears. We have all these different color pops with the boomerang there. Then we go into this drawing. We're not done yet. Then we go into the final drawing. So we basically have an ease where it starts to stretch, a really crazy smear drawing with lots of multiples, and then an easing in at the end there. Easing out, smear, easing in. And here you can see it playing at time. It's terrific. Works really well. It's a great economy of drawings. It's fun. It's engaging. And so that's the principles that I'm using here in my drawing, returning back to what I've got. So you can see that I'm drawing some multiples of the hands here. The hands are starting apart and coming forward like this. So I'm starting out pretty far, and then I'm going to bring them in quickly. So to do that, I could animate it, and I could even animate it on ones and do more drawings, but I'm just gonna zip it in there and have it so that those hands end up crossed, and we have some example, some indication of what direction those hands are going. So I've also done some smear lines there. I've done a couple lines on the outside there just to show that you know, this is where the hand was, this is where the arm was. So here I'll just start going in and quickly painting it just to see how that feels when I'm smearing across it and I'm playing through. Coloring in all the regular green first, just getting that done. Thinking about whenever we're doing any kind of animation in general, we always want to pay attention to the colors. If we want to do something where there's a bit of a color pop, that can make it seem snappier, that can make it feel like there's a bit of a surprise there, a bit of a peekaboo moment. If we want something that's more subtle, then we'll want to avoid those color pops. In this case, I've got a little bit of a color pop with the hands going in front of the stomach there. The teeth are stretching out and getting bigger, so that's a small minor color pop. Just working on the tones here, so I've got 3 different levels of tones for the green. Flipping through, yeah, I think that's feeling pretty good. See, I'm going to leave that negative space there. I really like that white space. That's feeling nice as I'm flipping through it, keeping that white on the right. Yep, back and forth, negative space is working. And that's it. That's how it works. I like it, yes. That's it for today. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.